Welcome to Talk Commerce. I'm Isaac Morey, and this episode is a special compilation of shorter conversations that we recorded live at Shop Talk Las Vegas. The whole Shop Talk series ranks among my favorite conferences because of its creative themes, interesting topics, and speed meeting sessions, so I'm excited to bring you these insights from some of the top e-commerce industry innovators, research, and entrepreneurs that I had the chance to interview back at Shop Talk.
My name is Nico. I'm the co-founder of eStreamly. We're a live stream and video commerce platform. What we do is we connect video to checkout.
Cool. And why should a merchant care about that? Why is that a good strategy?
Well, I think it's a good question. So I think, if you think about video commerce in general, or live shopping as a more subcategory of video commerce, if you look at what's going on in Asia, so over 20% of all e-com are done through video. So we're looking at a $1 trillion market, but in the US, yet we are probably around 1% coming from video. And a little bit if you look at social commerce as a bigger picture. But the reality is video commerce in the US and in other parts of Western Europe are very interesting if you really want to engage your audience and engage your active followers and your active people you have. And so there's really two strategies. Is like either you can look at it from a customer acquisition standpoint, and you can use things like TikTok Shop or whatnot, or you can say as like I want to do a retention play and then leverage video commerce on your .com, on your channel, marketing channel, email, SMS, whatever, and that's where we come in. So that's kind of what we do. But ultimately, 80% of the whole internet is video, so that's what your consumers are doing every day, and that's why video matter.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that stat about how prevalent video purchases are in Asia. That's definitely speaks to an untapped market here in the US, I would say.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, you could argue that you can't really compare the Chinese market or the Asian market with the US markets, different demographic, different type of people. But I think what it does really relate to is that if the consumer is on video all day long, which is 80% of his time, you got to figure out a way to make it easier for them to engage and shop, right? And I think that's what it is. Today, most of e-com in the US is still text and picture, right? You go to a website, you still have text and picture. It's very flat e-com, and so bringing just more data-rich content to those pages and to those experience really makes for a big difference.
Yeah, and I mean, as a content company, running a content company myself, I've definitely seen the focus shift from text and images to videos, so it only makes sense that the shopping would follow that pattern.
And I don't think it's when you think about content, I really like to think content in a 4-bucket way. I don't think it's just like, we need to drop the image and text, and that's not what we're saying. It's like video is a really awesome piece, and the way we think about content at eStreamly is we think about content from a text standpoint, the image standpoint, the video standpoint, but you also have the interactivity aspect, right? So how do we make the response content, like through the AI chatbot and all that stuff? And so at the end of the day, I think content is a combination of those 4 things, and you have to be equally good in a way to all that. And once you serve that, you have a real content strategy. It cannot be just, I have a text strategy, or I have an image strategy, or I have a video strategy. It has to be like a whole.
Definitely.
Because at the end of the day, I think people want to get educated, and you want to get the attention of those users, right? So that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and the more content you have around a product, I think the less chance you have of a return or a bad review as well. Yeah. I've definitely had the experience of purchasing something and then it arrives and it's half the size I thought it was going to be, or it doesn't work the way I thought. So I think video is good, not only for making the sale, but for making sure that the customer is getting what they really have in mind.
Yeah, I mean that's really like the reason why video on PDP works is because about 10% of your users will go through a video cohort just to understand does the product fit what I'm looking and I'm thinking about, right? Because image is very hard to look. Well, when you have the product in movement, you can really realize and conceptualize the product better.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, I like to ask people, what's your hot take?
So my hot take, so unfortunately I haven't really walked through the show enough yet. Obviously everyone talks about AI and everything, so that's the common. I think we're really at this point where as an industry, especially for a lot of the vendor out there is, I think they're going to be two things that's going to be changing in my point of view. One is people will no longer buy software, they will buy a service, they will buy a job. And so as a company, it's like, how do we make sure that we deliver an outcome that is not just, hey, this is software that does X, or get you enable you to do that, but like really look at the full-fledged end-to-end job. I think that's a big tech for me. And then the second is, with everything happening with OpenClaw and everything, I think I believe commerce is going to be back on premise. I think what we're starting to learn is that we want to have our own AI to a place we have control over. And I think right now a lot of things has been where we moved everything to the cloud, and I think there will be a moment back where a lot of brands are going to say, hey, do I want to give everything out to 5 companies, or do I still want to own something? And if I want to own it, then I have to do it on premise.
So my name is Amit Patel. I'm our Chief Revenue Officer, specifically for MyFitnessPal ads at MyFitnessPal.
Awesome. And well, tell us, for someone who's never used MyFitnessPal or never heard of you guys, tell us what you do and what makes you special.
Absolutely. We are the #1 global nutrition tracking app. Health is really having a moment in life right now. People are making it part of their daily habits. And so we're a platform that allows consumers to come and log their nutrition, log their exercise, essentially be able to get a whole holistic view of how they're tracking towards their overall long-term health and wellness goals and objectives.
Awesome. And I hear that you guys have some new features coming out. You told me the free tier is going to get a lot better. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, we've already made some really great progress around updating our experience within the free tier. But the biggest news that I'm excited to share about is our ads business. So we are officially launching MyFitnessPal Ads. It's a place where we help connect essentially brands to one of the largest health and wellness communities across our mobile app experience. The launch of MyFitnessPal ads will come with a whole suite of new premium ad formats. We're doing immersive interstitial products, display, video, all kind of bundled together with really rich first-party data to really help drive outcomes for marketers and brands looking to really reach this specific audience.
Yeah, fantastic. So if I have maybe an e-commerce business and some kind of nutritional food product or exercise equipment or anything related to health and wellness and fitness, this could be a great platform for me to advertise to people who are really interested?
Absolutely. We think the categories that are going to really resonate the most, obviously CPG, just because we are tracking consumers on the platform who are logging all their food throughout the day, retail and apparel, health and beauty. And I think what makes it really exciting and why I believe in kind of what we've built out is we have a platform that, at least in the US, reaches about 5.7 monthly active users in any given month. But those users are incredibly engaged. They're coming to the platform on average 5 times a day, logging about 16 different products throughout the day. So these are moments that we can help enable brands to really show up in relevant opportunities that kind of allow them to connect their brand story with our consumers throughout the entire day.
Yeah, very, very cool. And let's see, are you, sorry.
You're good.
Anything else that you're especially excited to share with our audience? We work with a lot of e-commerce stores specifically, so I think I'm a user of MyFitnessPal myself. I really enjoy the platform as a user, but I think from a brand perspective, this is a really great opportunity because it niches into the areas that the target audiences that they have. So anything else that you'd want to share with this audience in particular of e-commerce stores?
Yeah, I mean, I think retail media is having a really big moment. So if you're an e-commerce platform, like many of them have launched their own retail media networks, and they're great. They're at the point of transaction. I think for MyFitnessPal in particular, we're everything in between, right? We help go with the consumer along their journey of how they're thinking about what meals to prep, what brands to consider to help achieve their health and wellness goals, all the way down to them actually logging those products down to the individual product and SKU level on the platform. How do we now connect that experience to some sort of transactional moment, whether it's through an e-com partner or ways in which we can do that directly over time? So that's the piece that I'm really excited about. Like, what's that through line of where our media network's going to sit within the retail and commerce media networks that are out there today?
Yeah, very cool. And there's definitely, quite a few platforms out there for tracking your food, for your nutrition, your activity. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what makes MyFitnessPal special, what sets you apart from the competition.
I mean, first off, we've been around for 20 years. So we have a long history here. We're the #1 global nutrition tracking platform around at the moment. And a biggest factor around what's kind of led us to separate ourselves from the competitors, we have over 20 million foods registered in our food database, which gives consumers the flexibility to make sure that we have the right products when they're actively logging throughout the day. We also have over 68,000 different brands that are in our catalog and over 380 restaurant menus that are also included. So consumers can essentially log everything, and then you could combine that with your exercise data and really get that holistic snapshot on how you're progressing towards your health and wellness goals.
Very cool. Well, as we wrap up, could you share if you have any hot takes or final words to wrap up with?
Yeah. I think for me personally, I think the opportunity to be able to engage with an audience that's has the frequency and the depth of the relationship that our consumers have on MyFitnessPal, I think is a really interesting and innovative opportunity for brands to show up and how they storytell. I think second to social media, there aren't many platforms that have consumers that are coming to the app 5 times a day. So how do you create that through line with the brands that we're working with? So really leading into creativity around how we bring those brands to life is something I'm most excited about, and looking forward to enabling.
So I'm Vincent Declercq. I'm one of the co-founders and I'm the CEO.
I'm Wart. I'm also co-founder. I'm the CTO.
Okay, and tell us about what you guys do.
So Dalton is an AI tool that helps brands do more CRO, so conversion optimization and A/B testing. And so we've made a solution that removes all the friction that's now keeping brands from not doing a lot of that specifically. So running A/B tests, coming up with A/B test ideas, coming up with getting results from the data and figuring out what the next steps. All of those things are inside of the tool. So all you have to do is just add a shop, and you start getting A/B test ideas. You can just get them live right away with AI and start improving your conversion rate super quickly.
Awesome. And would you like to tell us a little more about how exactly the A/B testing works and what makes you guys special?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I think it's a multiple step process, but we try to remove all the friction. So we scan your competition. We have our own database of best practices, and we scan all your pages and we tell you what you can do different, right? And these tests are already implemented, so you only need to accept them in our visual editor. And I think what makes it even easier, and why we call it a self-improving web shop, is that when it works well and we see a change does well for the conversion rate, we send more traffic to it automatically. So Dalton keeps learning with all the changes you do on your website, and you get better and better, and you get more and more uplift on your pages.
Awesome. Oh, we're here in Las Vegas at Shop Talk. Have you guys been hearing any major themes or questions from all the people stopping by your booth?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's very curious about AI. I think AI is the word right now. I think personalization as well. You hear that coming back. So everyone's trying to figure out what they should be doing, where they should put their focus, and what's buzz and hype, and which high ROI use cases they should focus into. Because AI can do everything, right? So it's really a decision of prioritization. I would say mostly that.
So I'm Zach Bricker. I'm from Supermetrics.
Awesome. And Zach, we're here at Shop Talk,
Yeah.
Las Vegas. You guys have some new research to present. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Supermetrics last year started the marketing data report, where we went out and got some independent research done to see exactly what marketers are doing, what they're feeling, what's currently up and coming within the marketing world, and as well as what tools and different products they're using in order to facilitate the movement and change of all of the performance marketing that's going on. So this year we repeated that, and we used a new company in order to grab some more information, basically evaluate a larger band of individuals. And that research really provided a lot of insight into not only what marketers are seeing as it did last year, but also with everybody's favorite topic that you can't get away from, AI. It was largely focused around that, how marketers are using it, what they're seeing, how is it being effective, what are the problems. And we've got a lot of information that's going to be coming out throughout the entire year. We released our Supermetrics marketing data report in February that you can go and download. But we will be having talks, we'll be having additional presentations as we get more information out of that survey that we ran.
Great. Well, we'll include a link to that study or to where people can get it when we publish this. But maybe you could give us a little sneak preview. Like, what are some of the key findings that people will be surprised by?
Yeah. So some of those key findings. One of the biggest is something that may not be surprising, however, to you, but depending on what station you're in. But 89% of executives are pushing for AI. And a very small percentage of the people who are utilizing AI feel that their companies have an actual AI strategy in order for it to be effective. So you're seeing a lot of top-down pressure for everyone to use AI, but you're seeing on the lower level where the people are using it that they don't feel that there's a plan, they don't feel that they're being as effective or that it's affecting them enough to where they're saying, oh, this is a massive efficiency gain. So we're seeing a lot of people trying to use AI, but a lot of times it's not working out for all the promise that it tends to bring.
Gotcha. And do you have any info on like why those efficiency gains aren't realized, or what kind of roadblocks people are running into?
Yeah, so a lot of the roadblocks that we're seeing are around the data foundations. So one of the biggest things is that people's data foundations aren't prepared for utilizing AI in their infrastructure. So what that means is a lot of it is being held together by an old adage from back in the day of chicken wire and duct tape, where you're bringing in, I don't want to say bad data, but you're not bringing data in a way that is conducive for AI to go and process it to really get those insights out. So that's probably the biggest problem we're seeing. We're also seeing, like I said, that management and the executive teams aren't putting together strong AI strategies. Back in the day, when Google first really made it big in the early 2000s, I worked in tech support, and they said, oh, this is great, use Google for everything, you can find so much information. I was really good at it. I wasn't particularly smart, but I was good at using Google. But AI is much the same way. If you're not able to use it with all of its power, then you're not going to find the right answers, or at least you weren't back then. Now it's much better. But AI now is, okay, I can't just give you AI and expect something to come out of it. You have to know how to use it. You have to have a strong data foundation. You have to have a plan for how to integrate it within your company. If not, you're just kind of giving people a search bar and say, go find something. And that's not really a strategy. That's just hoping for the best, not preparing.
Awesome. But what else in the report might help people approach their job more effectively?
Yeah. So I think one, understanding, depending on where you are or what you can do. So maybe from a typical daily marketer standpoint, there may not be a lot in there that can help you effectuate your job going forward, right? Like, you're going to have a lot of the statistics, a lot of the information about what's happening, but not necessarily a prescription into, hey, here's how you do your job better. What we do have in there is ways that you can open those conversations up, or for management executive teams to understand what your workers might be feeling, so that they can come together and bridge that gap of, hey, we have this great thing in AI that is, everybody knows is extremely powerful. We're not getting the efficiency out of it. We're not getting the results out of it that we want. Where is the breakdown? And I think talking through that, finding where the core data foundations can be fixed, is where you're really going to be able to see, okay, here's how we can come together, fix this problem, and start to generate that value that you're already currently paying for, but you definitely want to see more of.
Yeah, awesome. Well, any other last findings or ideas you want to highlight before we wrap up?
I think one of the things, we've been talking about, we're here at Shop Talk, so one of the things is about e-commerce. One of the shocking statistics was that of everybody surveyed, only 8% of people in e-commerce said that they were adopting AI, which, e-commerce being sort of on the bleeding edge of a lot of things and where the performance marketers are, very surprising to us. I would say the biggest takeaway that we have is that AI won't fix your marketing problems, right? You need a solid core data foundation, and you need a plan in order to do that. So that is really our biggest takeaway, is get in there, develop a plan, get your data foundations nice and secure, and then you'll be able to see the results that you're looking for.
Hey there, Isaac Morey here again. We love Shop Talk at Talk Commerce, and if you've listened this far, the odds are you're pretty interested in Shop Talk as well. We're going to be at Shop Talk Fall in Nashville this September. If you're going to be there, then send me a message on LinkedIn. I'd love to meet you at one of the hosted meeting sessions and potentially interview you for the show. Just search Isaac Morey on LinkedIn to find me, connect, send a message. Now back to the show. Up next, we'll be hearing from Tarun from Syndigo about how AI is changing product content and e-commerce.
So Syndigo is a SaaS software company that powers modern commerce, right? So we think about all of the software that you need to make sure that your SKU can get to the shelf and reducing the friction and when your product can get to any shelf. Physical stores, e-commerce, social commerce, and now agentic commerce. You want to make sure your product shows up in ChatGPT when you're searching for it. When Isaac is saying, hey, I want to look for the best shoes that fit me, how do you make sure that Nike shows up or Adidas shows up? That's the software that we provide. People use us to manage product information, enrich it, and then syndicate it to every channel from one central location, hence the name Syndigo.
Yeah, excellent. Well, everyone's talking about agentic commerce here. Could you tell us a little bit more about your solutions for AI specifically?
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about agentic commerce in two different ways. There is product information management for AI, and there's AI for product information management, right? So agentic commerce or agentic PX Cloud, which is something we just launched yesterday, is our new agentic framework for brands and retailers to start managing and enriching product information and making sure it shows up and activates to every customer. These are co-pilots, independent agents that run with human-in-the-loop workflow approval processes where needed. So you're not having allergy information go through automatically without approval, but stuff that can be automated is automated in a safe manner. We're connecting these dots across product creation, product enrichment, ability to read the feedback that comes back from an Amazon or a Walmart saying, hey, I don't accept this product because of this, automatically fix it and send it back to the retailer, so that whole journey, where today it can take you 2 weeks for a product to go live, get it done in days, if not weeks, right? That's one part of it. The second element is how do you make sure your product information shows up inside agentic commerce? This is where we have to think about it for a second. For 100+ years, the primary way a brand was able to influence what a shopper buys was advertisements. It was placing the right ad in a newspaper, in a magazine, then online, hiring the right models to show it, attract human eyeballs. Now, AI doesn't care about human eyeballs. AI cares about how do I get the most complete information to show up. So we've got a lot of work we have done around making sure your data is complete, it is relevant and contextual to the personas you're targeting, and making it show up to the product detail page so that it does not hamper your SEO optimizations, but still gives you the GEO needs that you have.
Yeah, excellent. Well, for someone who's in the market, who's looking for a solution, what is it that really separates Syndigo from the competition?
So, obviously, if you think of Syndigo, we have almost 15 different point solution products, and we have competition for each of them, and there are things that we do well, there are things they do well, but as more enterprises are looking at the time to speed to market, time to go live, they're looking to see how can I consolidate this journey from I don't want the number of hops a SKU has to go through before it goes live. I want to be able to streamline that, reduce that friction. Syndigo is the only company in the world that can actually combine and give you an offering that's end-to-end, all the way from data management, cleaning up bad data, making sure it's contextually right, enriching it, syndicating it, measuring how it's performing on the product, and then with the latest acquisition from 2 weeks ago, which was Tagstar, start adding social proofing and building the buyer urgency that says, hey, 98 people have added this to the cart, right? This product is selling out, or this product is highly rated, which then builds the urgency and helps you make more money per SKU.
Great. Any final words or hot takes?
I think that this is a really great time to be alive. You see Shop Talk last year when we were here, there was a little bit of talk about AI, and now every company, every customer is talking about how do I accelerate in the agentic commerce world.
We are live at Shop Talk Las Vegas with Jay from Osello. Jay, want to tell us about Osello, what you guys do, and what makes you stand out?
Yeah, so Osello automates marketplace listings on marketplaces like Nordstrom, Macy's, Target, Bloomingdale's, And we do it with AI agents so that you could just connect your Shopify store, connect your marketplace, and the agents take care of everything else.
Very cool. And for a seller who hasn't used that kind of solution yet, what would you say are the main benefits? Like why should this be a priority?
Yeah, no rules to set up. If anybody's there's no rules, no spreadsheet templates. You just literally connect your Shopify store, connect the marketplace you want to sell on, provided that you're already approved for that marketplace. And the AI agents just take care of everything else. They just monitor your store and they work like individual humans. There's no feed, there's no errors to resolve or anything, and the agents will reach out to you if they have any missing data or there's anything that they're unable to fill in.
Cool. And while we're here at Shop Talk, what are the main things that you've learned or the main takeaways so far?
Main takeaways is that marketing is getting harder and harder and harder. There's a lot of noise. It's hard to know what to believe, and I think that relationships are going to be a critical part of the new world of marketing, and authentic relationships especially.
Definitely. Any hot takes for us?
Hot takes. Most of the companies, if any company has been selling that they're doing AI for longer than a year, they're not. They're not using the latest stuff. The models that they would have started with or built their base on last year it's going to be so outdated by today, which is hard enough for startups to keep up with, let alone established companies. That would be my hot take.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great. Thanks for taking a few minutes. Any final words that you want to share with our audience as we wrap up?
Don't get overwhelmed. It's not, everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed with AI right now. So don't worry. It'll settle down and we're all in this together.
I'm Anshuman, founder and CBO of OnePintAI.
Fantastic. And for someone who's never heard of OnePintAI, tell us a little bit what you do. What's your elevator pitch?
Yeah, we are an inventory platform powered by AI. We do demand forecasting, planning, replenishment, allocation, inventory optimization, visibility for mid-market brands and retailers.
Great. When it comes to inventory management, what's the number one mistake that you see companies making?
Everything floating around in Excels and Google Sheets, too much manual work, too much manual processes. I think that really slows down the companies, and our promise is move from spreadsheets, shed the manual processes, automate by using OnePintAI, and really leverage the new modern technologies that are available to really manage overstock, understock situations at your company.
Yeah, tell us, what does a customer success story look like when someone moves from those spreadsheets to OnePint? What kind of difference does that make for a business? And if you can, you could even share a specific customer story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think customers benefit from multiple perspectives. The first thing is to really unleash productivity in their planning organization. Second is to improve the business outcomes, whether it is forecast accuracy or reducing the inventory, essentially slashing the inventory carrying cost, etc. So there's a big benefit in terms of moving off from what brands currently have to an AI-powered system, and it's a combination of multiple things, as I just said.
Great. Well, any final words or hot takes as we wrap up?
Yeah, if you really think about uplifting your business capabilities, if you are a supply chain officer, head of inventory planning, you do demand planning, supply planning, give us a chance, talk to us, and let's have a conversation on what we can do with OnePintAI.
Hi, I'm Jason Grunberg. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Forder, and we are an AI decisions platform that helps retailers across the entirety of their customer journey prevent fraud, optimize payments, and make sure their customers have an incredible experience.
Cool. Tell us a little bit more about that. How does Forder work?
So we're built on an incredibly large identity data network, This is a merchant network of some of the largest brands in the world, including Nike, Wayfair, Tapestry, and hundreds of other household names. Their identity data and all of their engagement data is brought together so that we can identify patterns across all of their customers. So that when there is somebody who is on their site that might be there with the wrong intentions, say creating an account at massive scale in order to take advantage of initial sign-up promos or take over accounts that exist from their customers, we're able to stop that fraud before it happens. We also help these companies find points of margin in processing payments across multiple processors, understanding how are they going to get the best approval rate, where are they going to see the least chargebacks, and finding pockets of revenue where they're already spending. So it's an exciting outcome.
Yeah, that's something I've been learning about at this show, is that fraud prevention can actually not just be a defensive measure, but it can increase your revenue. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. So the kind of historic thinking around fraud is it's only a problem with large fraud rings, which are really professional organizations that might go merchant to merchant in executing different types of attacks. But as AI has evolved over the last 10 to 15 years, it's no longer the case that it is these professional organizations that are committing fraud. There's the concept of even friendly fraud that's emerged, where you might have a regular consumer who might take advantage of things like saying they didn't receive an item. You might have everyday consumers even today using ChatGPT or Gemini or other LLMs to change images of products after they've received them in order to say, hey, this came damaged and I'm looking for a refund, knowing that the merchant's policy might not be to actually return the goods. And so this is one of those scenarios where merchants are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in acquiring new customers, and then if there is false fraudulent activity, false declines, other chargebacks or things that happen afterwards, it erodes that investment that they made in acquiring new customers, or can even set up a scenario where one of their best customers gets declined because of a rule that they've set up. So this is how we help ensure that those investments that they're making are actually seeing it through the total funnel from a revenue perspective.
Cool. And I'm sure there's some AI being used along that process, but I have to ask, could you talk a little bit about how AI plays into your product, or maybe how your customers might be interfacing with AI?
Yeah, certainly. So this is a company that's been AI first since its foundation. And so over a decade ago, we were on the leading edge because we were built by some of the leading data scientists globally in pulling together this identity network and determining how should all this data be stitched together to create real-time decisions anywhere in the customer journey. So we're looking at somebody who's coming to the site in real time, and a merchant might not recognize this individual, but we on average see them 28 to 30 times a year across our network. And so we're able to determine in that exact moment, should you even let this person sign up to create an account? Should they be able to open a loyalty account, down to should they be able to transact? And so when you think about this massive volume of data, being able to make these connections in real time requires very sophisticated modeling. Fast forward to the type of AI that is being deployed today, there are things like an AI agent that we've deployed to help our customers actually implement our software. So historically, it might take 3 to 6 months for an enterprise to put something like Forder inside of their ecosystem. That's down to under 30 days because we've developed a kit and an agent that is looking at the total tech ecosystem that we're going to plug into, actually writing that implementation code for the engineering team on the client side. And so this is exciting for us because it gets kind of decreases our time to value. Really exciting for the customer though, because it means less tech resources are needed on their end and they're able to move a lot faster. And so that's how we're kind of adopting new forms of AI throughout our product, launching agents, one called Prism, that helps make decisions for our customers who today might not have the same fraud expertise as their teams have gotten leaner. We're bringing it forward through that type of agentic partner inside of Forder.
Cool. Well, as we wrap up, any last words or hot takes?
Shop Talk this year has been incredibly interesting to me because nobody is out there saying they have all the answers. This is what these events are meant to be, which is a community coming together to figure out what's happening in these shifts. I think we see right now that AI agents are impacting discovery that is documented, that is quantified. Where it goes next, nobody knows.
My name's Adi. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO at Passionfruit, and we help people win search everywhere, so AEO and SEO.
Great. For someone who hasn't heard of you guys yet, maybe they're a little curious about how they can improve their SEO or get into the AEO game, give us the elevator pitch for Passionfruit.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of tools out there that tell you what to do. The differentiation we have is we build all the tools in-house and then provide companies an end-to-end service. So we basically kind of focus on driving more and more revenue for clients, building all the end-to-end solutions that they need.
What are the biggest SEO or AEO mistakes you see companies make?
I think there's a lot of misinformation out here where people are thinking of SEO as one activity and AEO as a completely separate activity. I think it just comes down to using the data across the two different areas in the same way to provide more user-friendly content on your website. So just try to merge those two and focus on just being better at providing more and more information is the best approach here. So actually, it was funny because we met a lot of our customers earlier last year at the same time at Shop Talk Vegas. So they came by, so it was funny seeing some of them. One of them just left right now, but we grew their revenue by 10x. So it was very exciting where they brought together with them a couple of other retailers that they know, and it was really fun just chatting with them and meeting more retailers that they are referring us to, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, very exciting. Any new features or products that you guys will be launching soon that you want to promote?
Yeah, so basically, I think people who've used N8N and stuff like that are used to typical workflows where you have to kind of put in a bunch of different apps in the correct order and be able to build your own agents. We're launching the next version of that for marketers. We're focused on SEO and AEO. You basically just give it access to a bunch of tools, and like similar to how you tell any employee of yours what you want out of their JD, you just give it a JD, it figures out how to use all the different tools it has and comes up with an output. So rather than having to place different nodes and make it work, you can basically just give it tasks and have it do everything you ideally want any agent of yours to do without having to manually change things.
Cool. You guys have a pretty memorable name. What's the inspiration for Passionfruit?
Yeah, so this is my co-founder and my second company together. So being ex-founders, before we started Passionfruit, the goal was that our next venture is to be focused on helping other founders grow. So with that inspiration, we said, how do we help founders get the fruit of their passion? So that's how Passionfruit came up. And then realized Drake has already killed his presence with that name, so we've been tackling with that. But definitely a good, memorable name to have.
That wraps up our Shop Talk Las Vegas compilation. Big thank you to everyone who took a few minutes to speak with us and to the Shop Talk team for putting together an outstanding event. If you enjoyed this format, then subscribe to Talk Commerce for more interviews, insights, and coverage from across e-commerce and retail. We will see you at the next one.